Good morning and welcome to Kinze's What is New webinar for model year 27. I'm Brad Neenstead, product specialist here at Kinze, excited to talk about what's coming for model year 27, kind of review a couple things that came out in model year 26 or for this coming planning season as well. So a lot to talk about. I appreciate you guys taking time today to come and listen and learn what's new about Kinze. If you're a current Kinze owner, hey, we thank you very much for your business. If you're not today, we appreciate you taking the time just to learn and listen about what Kinze has to offer and maybe provide a solution for your farming operation. So we're kind of start out with kind of the layout of the day. So today we're going to talk about kind of what's new, some changes, some new option pieces, some new configurations of planters as well. As we walk through the day, though, in the chat section of the webinar, please feel free to type in questions as they come up from you. And we will stop as we have a break or we transition and make sure and get those questions answered. So we want to make sure really the day's for you as well, so we can get your questions answered before we end the webinar today. So type those in at any time, and again, we'll answer them live as we go through the day. Kind of a layout of what we're going to talk about. Some 5000 series model review, talk about some row unit changes. Again, kind of review 5000 series. For those of you that, again, are first-time Kinze listeners to the webinar as a whole, we'll kind of talk about the 5000 series row unit. Again, the benefits of utilizing that guy. We'll talk about 5000 series planters as a whole, configurations. We'll talk about our fertilizer and kind of some, again, model option enhancements for fertilizer. We'll touch a little bit on true speed meter changes. So making some, again, continuous improvement pieces on the true speed meter. We'll talk about some Blue Vantage enhancements as well, both for this coming planting season as well as what we're working on for next year. We'll touch a little bit on classic planters. Again, just to highlight that, hey, those classic planters aren't going anywhere from a configuration standpoint. So kind of dive into it right away as we talk about the 5000 series. As always, there's really three main things we wanted to focus on when we developed the 5000 series planters. And crazy enough, it's been 3 full years since we introduced it. Number one is to provide more uptime for you in the field. And we do that by, again, providing a durable row unit, long life components, helping reduce the use of the grease gun. So getting rid of grease points on the row unit, and then really making it easier to set and adjust that row unit in the field so it becomes less stressful for you in the spring, unlike the stressed out groundhog you see on the slide there. So how do we make it easier for you, less maintenance, longer maintenance intervals, and of course get you more time running through the field? The 5000 series really starts with the core of it, which of course is the row unit itself. If we go through the kind of the transition and history on the Kinze row unit side, naturally our model number is related to the series of row units. So I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with, a 3600, which is now of course 3605, which is of course our 3000 series row unit. We get to the 4000 series, which was of course our first generation electric drive. We got into the cast iron row unit and went to 24-inch toolbar height. Now the 5000 series takes the 4000 series place. With the 5000 series, we still continue with the 24 inches of under toolbar height. We go to increased travel and, of course, introduce both a cast iron pull row unit, which we've had in the 4000 series, and then introduce the 5000 series push row unit on our 5670 model. So again, introduction for us. First time offering a cast iron push unit as well. And we'll talk about those model configurations as we dive into it here a little bit as well. The push row unit, and as we talk about pull row unit, are really 5000 series row unit features. You get the same features whether it's a pull row unit or a push row unit. So full cast construction on it. The push row unit uses cast parallel arms, both upper and lower, as well as the faceplate that attaches it to the toolbar itself. So completely increasing the durability of the push row unit. And again, we introduce for the first time a cast iron push row unit on our 5670 model. Of course, it's bulk fill only. We'll talk a little bit about some hopper and plot hopper options. Again, supports both our electric drive meters, true rate and true speed. Of course, our true depth hydraulic downforce or pneumatic down pressure. Again, all 5000 series are electric drive bulk fill only from a configuration standpoint. A lot of things change, really just not only structure and improving durability, but really how it looks as well. So the 5000 series, of course, we introduced really a stylized style row unit. So we've gone to our plastic side panels. So again, no more steel side panels, a little more nicer looking, a little more ergonomic view. And for the mini hopper lid itself, we got away from the finger smasher latch on the back. So now the latch is integrated into that lid. So there's not, again, a quick flip lid or quick flip latch to open the mini hopper anymore. It's built into the lid and side panels themselves. A change from really model year 25 to model year 26, and of course, and beyond. We've just improved the hose and harness routing for just increased durability and longevity over the older generations. So just improving routing, clamping, and again, overall ergonomic of how that row unit harness is laid out on the row unit. Again, to provide longevity and durability of the row harnesses that are used on those row units. So again, continuous improvement for electric drive harness routing. We've made some changes to options and attachments on the row unit. So we've historically offered spoke gauge wheels as standard equipment. Of course, depending on your tillage conditions, row spacings, etc., we now offer solid gauge wheels as an option. We are also offering now new for model year 27, the ability to put narrower or 3-inch gauge wheels on it, factory installed. As you can see on here, one of the big changes is specifically on 5700, which is, of course, the planter that supports 20 and now 22-inch row spacing. We provide 3-inch gauge wheels as an option. They are 3-inch solid gauge wheels. There's no price difference between it, so you can pick and choose with no difference in price. The gauge wheel mud scraper, which is standard equipment on our 5000 series row units, are different between, of course, the 3-inch and 4-inch wide gauge wheels. So again, just help provide that profile difference. Of course, a lot of guys ask, why would I use narrows or wide or spoke or solid? Of course, the big item with the narrower gauge wheel on narrower row spacing, especially when you have hydraulic downforce, that row unit, of course, those 4-inch wide tires were basically made to help, of course, float that row unit through the ground. Now with hydraulic downforce and, again, row by row downforce control and residue management, depending on, again, how aggressive you run your residue wheels, what kind of tillage conditions you're in, strip till, no till, etc. Those narrower gauge wheels obviously create a smaller path of that row unit going through the field. So to give you some flexibility and some options that we provide 3-inch gauge wheels. The 5670 model, so again, our lift and pivot frame, and we'll touch on this again when we get into models. You can get 3-inch gauge wheels on that guy as well. Really, it's by request for model year 27, but we can still put it on for you, working with your dealer and the district manager for your area. We can get those, again, switched for you as well. So just expanding the gauge wheel offering factory installed to meet your needs and conditions of your operation. Again, big benefit compared to our older generation row units, such as the 3000 series. We do utilize 12 inches of total vertical travel on the 5000 series as well. So again, more travel on that push row unit as well, because again, we're using 24 inches of toolbar height. We did make changes and improve the durability and strength of the parallel arms, along with the faceplate improvement as well. So really have just added durability to the faceplate, strengthened it over 50% stronger than our older 4000 series row unit. Again, just to provide a more durable piece, especially with high speed and, of course, high downforce loads. We continue on, though, with our parallel arms on our 5000 series, carrying over some of what we introduced in the 05 series several years ago with the double bushing parallel arms like you see on the screen. So all parallel arms on 5000 series have a pressed in bushing in the arm, and then, of course, a smaller bushing inside of it, more as the sacrificial part. This double bushing piece gives you 25% more wear area than the older generation single bushing design. And the nice part too, it doubles the wear life of a current bushing configuration. So double bushings historically last double the life of a single bushing design. So again, improving the durability of the row unit compared to, again, the 00 series row units in its previous life. Again, true depth hydraulic downforce. Continue to offer that as an option. Again, our hydraulic downforce system is, of course, controlled and designed and built in-house here at Kinze. It's row-by-row control, supports up to 650 pounds of downforce, up to 150 pounds of uplift. Again, only one single valve per row to operate both downforce and uplift, and really do that with the design of the cylinder itself. So we actually take tractor pressure, put it to the rod end of the cylinder to create 150 pounds of uplift all the time. Use that single valve to overcome that 150 and put up to 650 pounds down. So very simple system. It's only one valve per row. And again, a lot cleaner layout from a hose and harness layout standpoint, because again, we're just using like a common rail hydraulics hosing to support both downforce and uplift. Again, all closed loop control, of course, using the load link on the row unit. And again, it's all row by row as well. One thing I'll note on the hydraulic downforce part, specifically with the split row application, so with interplants or split row configuration specific on our 5670, we do have with hydraulic downforce a uplift configuration or a lockup feature for the push row units. So we can go into what we call a lift assist mode in Blue Vantage, and actually takes 200 pounds of weight off of the row unit, so it's easier to lock up those push row units when you're switching from 30-inch rows to 15-inch rows as well. So again, just make life easier, specific with hydraulic downforce. We get into row unit attachments. Again, we've offered Yetter Air Adjust row cleaners for several years, the 2940 version. So whether it be the faceplate mounted one at the top or the Coulter combo at the bottom, we offer both the faceplate mounted in a wide 60-degree angle or a 45-degree angle configuration, depending on the row spacing. Again, that's kind of built into the quote process to help make that easy. We have realized, though, as we've offered Yetters for several years, a lot of guys might want a different style of row cleaner. All right, maybe something works better in your area, or you just prefer something different, but still want the adjustment and the integration into one display. So we offer at that second bullet point there the Air Adjust only control package. So it allows us, and what we do here at the factory is install the air compressor, the hydraulically driven compressor, the air valves, and run all the hosing to the faceplate of the row unit, and then you can connect whatever Air Adjust row cleaner you want to those air lines and still have the integration into Blue Vantage. So that's what we call the controls only package. Everything's installed, tested, etc., but does not require a separate control box because, of course, we're just running it through the Blue Vantage display. So give you some flexibility to pick and choose the residue wheel that you so want, and again, without having an extra display in the cab itself. Still offer, again, standard regular no-till Coulters. Again, the manual adjust residue wheels. I call it the Kinze version of residue wheel that attaches to the no-till Coulter. Again, we still offer those. We've added a new no-till Coulter blade to the offering with the 25 wave blade, which would be in the upper right corner of the slide up there. Again, just provide another option for no-till coulter that's a little less aggressive, and again, a little less apt to throw dirt, especially as you start to drive faster as well. So just provide other options from the coulter standpoint as well. All right, so let's go to kind of work through the row unit some more, get through some options. Again, disc opener blades, something that's carried over from the 05 series as well, double bearing disc opener blades. So still 3.5 mil blades. We've changed the bearing hub to be a machine style hub. Of course, gone to double bearing disc opener blades, and of course, gone to larger rivets to hold those hubs to the blade itself. So again, just provide a more durable, truer running blade. That way, of course, again, we get more life out of the bearing. When the blade is wore out, the bearing is still in good shape. So again, just provide that longevity of disc opener blades. We've also added spring-loaded outer scrapers. So of course, we've utilized the spring steel bolt-on version for a long time. We've gone to the spring steel version now, so it's spring-loaded. It is double the thickness and a harder material than the older generation spring steel design. So again, over double the life of that outer scraper to again provide longevity and durability and less maintenance of that outer scraper as well. We talked again about gauge wheels, the addition of a 3-inch option. Solid wheels on 5700, 20 and 22, as well as the 5670 configuration. Again, no price difference. You still get the standard mud scrapers, part of that base package. But again, just adding more gauge wheel options, factory installed, so you don't have to change it once it gets to your farm or to the dealership as a whole. So provide more factory solutions from a gauge wheel standpoint. Again, the biggest change we introduced is the shimless, greaseless gauge wheel arm. Okay, so again, I kind of have a piece up here on the table as well, just to kind of show and go inside with the video that you saw on the screen. So if you're looking at the screen, a couple things you want to notice. Number one, that gauge wheel pivot shaft itself, twice the diameter of the older grease style that we had for a long time. The blue section on that screen is your fiber bushing. The blue lines on, or excuse me, green lines on each side of that blue bushing are the dust and dirt seals on that bushing. All right. So again, the bushing itself is over double the surface area, well over 2.5 times the life expectancy of this bushing compared to the grease style. And of course, again, we get rid of the grease circs. So we get rid of, on a 24 row, 48 daily grease circs just on the row units that you don't have to worry about every day. Just want to put that in as we talk about fiber bushings with the marker option on all 5000 series. We've done the same thing. We've gone to fiber bushings across the entire marker lineup. So there's no greasing markers either. So on a 24 row, we've taken well over 80 daily grease circs off of the mix to again make that maintenance a lot easier. Okay. So just to kind of look at a cutaway version, just because again, the slide deck probably doesn't do it justice. Okay. But we've looked at the physical diameter of the shaft itself. Again, twice the size of the older shaft, all right, in comparison. So it's a heck of a lot bigger. Again, we look at the cutaway of the gauge wheel arm itself. You can see the blue bushing and, of course, the dust and dirt seals on each side of it as well. So again, double the size. This is a Teflon infused bushing. So what happens is those first, couple rounds around the field, the first 50 acres going through the field, that Teflon from that bushing actually infuses itself onto this pivot shaft. So you really now get a Teflon on Teflon wear surface area that, again, improves the life and durability of the row unit as a whole, or the gauge wheel arm. Okay, so longer life items, it's obviously significantly bigger and thicker. Again, and then on top of getting rid of the greaseless side, we got rid of the shims to adjust that gauge wheel arm side to side. Okay, so on the end is a shouldered castle nut. When you pull that pin out, you then can rotate that castle nut and it will move that gauge wheel. So in my case, I'm loosening it or moving it farther away from the disc opener blade. It's a little bit hard to see in the picture, but on the shouldered castle nut on each side of it are two UHMW pads. So those pads help prevent, if you got fertilizer on the planter and it got fully doused, or this arm got fully doused with fertilizer, it would prevent that shouldered castle nut from getting locked up or rusted solid. Okay. So keeps that guy free. To adjust it, again, pull the pin. If I'm adjusting it in, rotate it in, moves my gauge wheel in, and I can change my adjustment really in 30 seconds per row. So it's a lot quicker, a lot easier. One revolution of this shoulder castle nut is approximately the thickness of one of those shims that you moved on the older generations. And number two, compared to other aftermarket options especially, but the factory solution here from Kinze, as this row unit gauge wheel arm is pivoting up and down, we are not wearing on any threads, okay? The thread out here not being rotated because, again, that castle nut is held solid. So the only thing that's moving is the fiber bushing on the actual shaft itself. The threaded portion in the middle is where this threads into the cast iron shank of the row unit. So this is just to install the shaft. Again, when you get tens of thousands of acres on the planter and we get to the point of needing to replace the shaft, just like our current solution, we would just simply turn this shaft out, put a new shaft in, and you're ready to go. So a lot of good enhancements here. We also took the gauge wheel arm pocket, made it thicker, heavier, again, to increase the durability of the gauge wheel arm as well. So not only did get rid of the grease zerks, but added, again, thickness and hardness to that gauge wheel pocket to, again, provide longer life than the current generation gauge wheel arm itself. So a lot of good changes on the 5000 series gauge wheel arm. So got rid of the grease zerk. Again, the next slide, again, talks about getting rid of those shims. So again, just a real life picture of the gauge wheel arm. And again, the shoulder castle nut that as soon as you pull that retainer clip off, again, easily move that gauge wheel in and out. Get to the end or back of the row unit, and we start talking about closing wheels. We have improved and upgraded the closing wheel arm for the 4Adjust manual solution, where it is now a cast iron closing wheel arm. We also added some pre-drilled or pre-popped holes in that closing wheel tail to help support mounting of rear drop tubes, which we'll talk about here in a second as well. So just, again, added a cast solution, more durable closing wheel arm. We did also introduce with the 5000 series the Air Adjust closing wheel as well. So again, controlled through the Blue Vantage display, allows you to adjust closing wheel pressure from the cab. Along with the Air Adjust and the manual adjust, this is really a 5000 series row unit feature across the board, is a quick flip up closing wheel tail. So on the picture you see here, it's in the locked and planting position. We have a solution that allows you to physically rotate that rear closing wheel tail up out of the way so you can leave the closing wheel or the seed trench open, get the closing wheels out of the way, allow you to easily see seed depth, spacing, set and adjust section control adjustments, all those type of things. You can see in the photo, this is in the locked up position. To do that, you really simply pull one pin, the whole closing wheel tail comes up. You put the pin in to lock it up out of the way. Do your checks, evaluation, pull that pin, rotate it down, put your pin back in, and you're ready to go back planting. So simple, quick, easy, and all of those pivot points that allow that closing wheel tail to flip up all have replaceable bushings in it. So again, tens of thousands of acres running through the field. When those bushings wear out, you can simply replace the bushings and not have to replace the arm or the pivot piece in order to make that happen. Again, this is on both air adjust and spring adjust closing wheels. We talked earlier that, of course, 5000 series is all bulk fill electric drive only. We do offer what we call a seed corn hopper option as well. So this hopper is available through parts. It's approximately a 0.8 bushel capacity hopper. We offer it for both meter options, true rate and true speed, and it fits onto the existing row unit. So there's no modification, more of taking the meter off of the current mini hopper, putting it onto this hopper, and you're ready to go. So make it simple, easy. Seed corn is probably our, the biggest application for male rows, but we have a lot of guys that plant larger plots or longer plots. This provides, again, a larger reserve capacity for plot application. Which becomes a good segue into the plot hopper extension for the mini hopper as well. So what you see here, again, ordered through parts, it slides on to your existing mini hopper. It's, again, for both true rate or true speed mini hoppers. It adds about a 0.1 bushel capacity. And again, it's great for the plot planting applications. When you got your plot bags, simply slide this guy on, pour your plot bag in, plant your plot. Again, allows for easy clean out, and then again, allows you to have some more reserve capacity than what's in the mini hopper itself. So again, some solutions to provide both plot and seed corn solutions for the 5000 series. Yeah.
Hey, Brad. So we have our first question, and it's from Steve. Steve states, you don't have seed discs for kidney beans. So can you put old style bean cups for soybean and dry edible beans?
So Steve, on a 5000 series, no, just because they only support true rate and true speed. Depending on your edible bean size and meter selection, the true rate meter does have some capability for edible beans. Now, I realize a lot of variability in edible beans, and Steve, you're probably by far more of an expert on edible beans than I, but depending on what it is and population, all those factors that come into that, the true rate could have a disc solution to support it. I realize on the true speed side, currently today we do not. It's something we're working on, but I don't have a solution for you today. When you get to the mechanical meter standpoint, again, I would push more to the true rate than the mechanical meter side. The 3000 series box, I don't think fits a feed cup on it anymore, just because of the lower hopper change versus like a 2000 series prior to. So I realize it's getting a little bit old school, a little fact, a little known value, but specific to 5000 series, the short answer is no. True rate could provide some solutions depending on bean size, population, etc. I will say, guys, on the phone, kind of have a Wizard of Oz. The man in the back that you guys don't see, that you heard talk about the question, is Zach. He's in our marketing group. He's the man behind the camera, helping me out, walking through the day, and of course, helping get your questions to me as well. So thanks for typing those in. Again, if you guys joined after we got started, welcome. Please feel free to type in any questions in the chat, and like we did, we'll answer them as they come up, and make sure we get them all answered prior to the end of walking through today. Another addition for model year 27. So one of the additional options, we kind of went through some review items of features and enhancements, but we're offering a Smart Box ready granular chemical option, factory installed. So what you see here is, again, a 5900 that has what we would say is the Smart Box solution. and how it would arrive at the dealership from Kinze. So again, as you can see, we're using our standard granular chemical hopper panel. We're using the Smart Box commodity base. We have our own bracketry that mounts it to our hopper or to our hopper panels. We are using our meter and flow sensor. Okay, so we have our own insecticide meter. Every row is controlled row by row. It's, of course, all electric drive. And, of course, has a flow sensor for every row to tell you if it's flowing or not flowing. It also includes the drop tube and the mount for, again, straight vertical drop into the seed trench. That's all factory installed. It's all controlled through the Blue Vantage display. Allows you the flexibility to utilize AMVAC Smart Box boxes, of course, for the product. So again, that's nothing new in the market. Obviously, those of you that are using insecticide now or maybe looking to add insecticide down the road, again, on 5000 series planters, you can certainly option this guy on factory installed. One thing I will say with it, though, is with the motor technology that we've introduced, this option would be for 2025 and later model machines. And the reason I say that is that's when we started to introduce dual product liquid fertilizer. So, sorry, 26 and on, you can put this option on. 25 and earlier is a different meter technology. But you get to that point of wanting to add it down the road, we can work with your dealer and kind of help provide some solution. But factory installed, 26 and later, you can offer this Smart Box solution. So just be aware it's going to be available for model year 27, again, as a factory installed piece. So again, provide the integration and control still through Blue Vantage without having to utilize a separate control box for it. Something else we're introducing, model year 27, specific to true rate meters. So the non-high speed option, we're introducing a new seed tube and sensor in model year 27. So this new sensor is a Dickie John sensor. It's based off the same technology we use on the true speed meter. So it has active dust mitigation. Again, no blind spots in or on the sensor itself compared to our older generation. And it really improves reading and population performance and singulation information across all true rate supported crops. So just overall improvement in seed sensor is really the core of that message. We also tag that along with new seed tube sensor geometry. So the actual plastic part, the seed tube itself, slight changes to it to really make it help reduce the chance of ricochet and also improve overall COV performance. So COV, of course, the coefficient of variation of seed to seed to seed, helping reduce that to provide, again, better performance in the field. So it's small, subtle changes. You compare an older seed tube to a new one. It's a small change, but with good performance in the field. All right. So true rate, new seed tube and sensor starting in 27. Same technology as true speed, better performance in the field from reading population, and of course, better performance of physical placement because of that geometry change as well. Okay.
Darren says, I've had problems with air trash whippers when getting aggressive with them. They have a tendency to lift the entire planter unit out of the ground.
To be honest, Darren, it takes a lot to raise the row unit out. I will say with true depth hydraulic downforce helps overcome that because, again, with that 650 pounds of downforce, I haven't seen a row cleaner be able to push it out of the ground. It would make it super aggressive. Some options for, again, just it's really situational on how to overcome it. It really requires more downforce to, of course, help keep that row unit down if that residue wheel is that aggressive. True depth, again, helps combat that because it's obviously overcoming it. And I will tell you the cool part about The true depth side, as you can see that, if it's row by row specific or you're going through the field, the residue is harder, that ground's a little harder going through the field. The residue wheels, of course, going into it, and if it's aggressive, that ground's hard, it's pushing it up, and you might have certain rows that put more downforce down to put it in. Really, it's a setting item. Again, true depth helps overcome it, but it has to be pretty aggressive if we're pushing the row unit out of the ground as a whole. I will say smaller gauge wheels, a little more smaller path, a little more force on the row unit as well because there's less flotation with that bigger tire as well. So some things to think about from a setting and adjustment standpoint from residue.
We have another question from Ryan. Would the new True Rate seed tube and sensor work on early 3500 planters?
So Ryan, this seed tube and sensor is only on electric drive machines, just because of the technology and harnessing. So this one is only on electric drive. And what model did you say was?
3500.
3500. So non-electric drive unit. I'm just asking because we offer, of course, 3505 in blue drive. So again, similar situation there, but it is different. The sensor technology is more, again, on that MUX bus side than it is on the electric drive side. So kind of two different buckets there. Electric drive. Okay, gotcha. So Ryan, so again, not only is the harnessing different on that one, the row unit difference is the other wild card of why that guy doesn't fit in the row unit is really the short answer. So of course, 3000 series row unit, of course, stamped steel, welded shank. 5000 series is the cast iron one with a little bit more real estate in that shank to support it. So that one is just on the 5000 series electric drive ones because of the row unit difference and the shank clearance as well. So, nope, good question. We kind of go through the 5000 series lineup, talk about some changes and new offerings on the 5000 series. So, biggest item to think about when you're looking at a 5000 series planter is all of the standard features that we just include as part of the base machine. 5000 series is a family, so this affects all 5000 series models. So of course, it's full electric drive, which we've talked about already. Utilizes the 5000 series row unit, both pull row and push row, depending on configuration. It's blue drive, bulk fill. It comes standard with active hydraulic weight transfer. In model year 27, we are also utilizing both seed weight, so the tank scale weight, and if you have fertilizer, the fertilizer tank level to adjust how much weight goes out to the wings automatically. So previously it was utilizing seed weight. So if your seed tanks are full, we're pushing more weight out to the wings versus when the seed tanks are empty. We're now going to take in account the fertilizer tank level. So if you have half seed but full fertilizer, we will again put more weight out to the wings to help reduce pinch row compaction and again provide more weight transfer to the wings. Standard equipment, all right, that comes with a base machine. Factory installed one rear facing camera, standard equipment, LED work lights, of course, not anything super unique there, but a 2-year warranty hitch pin to tail wheel on all 5000 series, and really all electric drive equipped planters have a 2-year warranty, part of the base package as well. So a lot of standard features no matter the model and configuration on the 5000 series. Kind of 3 members to the family, 5900 front fold, the 5700 front fold, and then the 5670 lift and pivot. Kind of walk through each one of those. A big change though for this year or for model year 27, I should say, when we introduced the 5000 series machines, we had it equipped standard with a variable displacement PTO pump. This pump runs everything on the planter: vacuum, alternator, downforce, fertilizer, hydraulically driven compressor, all of those features, okay? we now have the ability to offer what we call the no PTO pump option, or what is called Power Beyond, where we will utilize the Power Beyond on the tractor. In order to utilize it, we recommend the tractor has approximately 80 gallons per minute. Excuse me. Fighting a cold still today. So Power Beyond, K-Strain, recommend approximately 80 gallons a minute, all right, to run it. The on-off function of that Power Beyond will be utilized and operated through the Blue Vantage display. So those of you that have used Power Beyond before, are familiar with Power Beyond, realize when you start that tractor up, hydraulics, of course, are pumping to the Power Beyond circuit. We have basically an on-off switch built into Blue Vantage, so the planner itself isn't running as you're starting the tractor. So provide that simplicity and integration into the Blue Vantage display. We will offer a PTO pump kit to be offered in the field. So we've had a lot of customers say, well, that's all fine and dandy. I have a tractor that will support it, but if I have a tractor that goes down, or I want to sell it or trade it, what options do I have there? We offer a PTO pump kit that can be installed on it in the field to take place of the Power Beyond function. So give you some flexibility to go there. One thing to note, though, is that we're not offering a package to go from the PTO to Power Beyond. And a couple reasons for that, just from valving and configuration and hose layout, we're not going to offer it that way. But Power Beyond to PTO, we can do that. We will offer that in model year 27 as a package. We also continued on with the Power Beyond side to still have alerts, alarms integrated into the Blue Vantage display. So we'll have, oil temperature, pressure, as well as a K-Strain alert. If your K-Strain hose is plugged or not hooked up correctly, we will alert you and shut the system down to help prevent any damage to the system as well. So just to be aware that that option is out there as well. We get into the model configurations on 5900. I will go back one thing real quick to highlight the PTO Power Beyond option is for all 5000 series. So all the models we're going to talk about, this applies to all of them. So start with 5900, front fold, 30-inch only configuration, 24, 16, and 12 row. We now are offering factory installed tracks on the 5900 configuration. We have also changed and are now utilizing VF tires across that entire toolbar as well. So improving the tire options, factory installed VF tires, all models, 12, 16 row are the ones that haven't had them across the toolbar. Now they do on all configurations. Of course, we talked about it already, now offer with the Power Beyond option. We still continue to offer dual product liquid fertilizer that we introduced last year. And of course, that solid gauge wheel option as well on 5900. Probably the biggest change, though, of course, is the track option. So they are a Susi track option. It's factory installed. The tracks are, again, similar to ones that are out in the market today. They're 12 inches wide, 59 inches long, provide approximately a 1,660 square inch total footprint per 4 tracks, so per set. It has basically almost 4 times the footprint of the VF tire that it's replacing. All right. So again, more surface area. You guys, I'm sure, are well aware of what tracks can provide. It gets you about a 10 PSI ground contact with the track solution. Biggest item, though, is it does not affect the flip axle operation on the 24 row. So again, 5900, unique feature where we flip that axle ahead 4.5 feet for better turning radius and, of course, better balance going down the road. You still have that great feature even with tracks on it as well. So factory installed track option on 5900. Okay. First year 5,900. Yes, you can. Darren, we would have to add, and I'll talk about the sensor here in a minute. We'll be able to add, we have to add a sensor to the tank in order to do that because there's now a sensor in it. Add a harness to the planter in order to do that, and then have the integration into the display. So something we're working on to provide the sensor, harness, etc. In order to do that. And then we would, of course, change that configuration in Blue Vantage and get that feature already. Because you have a 5,900 already, active weight transfer, of course, is still there. So it would just take that into account. So, yep, we'll be able to do that. We can work with your dealer to get the parts and the information in order to make that transition. So you bet. When we move to 5,700 front fold, again, our front fold configuration, of course, the biggest difference on this guy is we get the wheels in the front of the toolbar and allows us to support 20 and 20-inch configuration. We now offer for model year 27 this same frame design in 22-inch configuration as well. So we offer a 24-row 22, 36-row 22 configuration as well. We offer, again, solid gauge wheels. We talked about the option to install narrow 3-inch gauge wheels if you so choose. We are also adding dual product liquid fertilizer as an option to the 5,700 as well. And we'll talk a little bit more about fertilizer here in a minute. But we had dual product on 5,900. We've now added it to 5,700 for model year 27. So same system. We'll talk about that in a second as well. Again, now offered with Power Beyond, no PTO pump. We talked about that earlier. So again, new configuration with 22-inch, adding dual product to 5,700. Just a picture of the 36-row 22. It has the same configuration offerings, you know, the Yetter closing wheel or Yetter residue, air closers, all those factors that we've talked about throughout the day so far, available on the 22-inch. Again, just a picture of the 36-row 22. To talk about it again, narrow gauge wheels, dual product, no PTO pump. All those items factor into the new 22-inch configuration. 5670, again, lift and pivot frame. This guy introduces the split row and cast iron push row unit on it. This planter is taking place of the 3665, so we no longer are offering the 3665 as an option. Again, split row configuration. We also offer this guy in 16 row or 30-inch only configurations. You can see for the first time on 5670, this is the new frame. So again, 24-inch under toolbar height, 30 degrees of wing flex. So we increased the wing flex. We've gone to dual fans instead of a single fan. So it's just like the other 5000 series. You can adjust vacuum levels per half of the planter, or basically per tank. We went to over center wing locks, kind of like the older 3600. It's the first time we're offering the ability to support bulk seed, split row, and fertilizer, all factory installed. So provide a lot of options on 5670. With that, we've also transitioned to VF tires on the 5670 as well. So they're no longer the recap style in the center, and of course, no longer the 750/20 bias plies on the wing. VF tires across the entire toolbar. So upgrading the tire game as well on the 5670. It's offered again, split row configurations and 30-inch configurations. One thing I will note, the 5670 is really broken up into base machine by configuration. So you would, if you want split row, it's a split row configuration. If you want a 30-inch configuration, it's a 30-inch configuration. It's not a 30-inch and then you add split rows to it. It's really based on total rows. It's probably the easiest way to explain it. So we offer it again in 30-inch rows as well. Of course, we always offer even row. Also, again, offer solid gauge wheels, offer the 3-inch gauge wheels on it, as well as the, again, no PTO pump, power beyond solution for model year 27 as well. So new lift and pivot, again, it's been out for 3 years now. Again, great performance in the field, kind of the next generation in split row planting from Kinze. And again, getting that cast iron push unit as well. We touched a lot on configurations, options, kind of some new features on our 5000 series. We talk about our fertilizer system, not changes, excuse me, no changes on the fertilizer system. We, of course, are still utilizing and introduced the diaphragm pump when we introduced 5000 series several years ago. Again, the diaphragm pump allows us to run dry up to 10 minutes, allows optional plumbing for saddle tanks or a nurse tank, factory installed, so you select where you want the auxiliary plumbing, again, to give you more time between fills or more acres between fills. Supports rates of 2 to 25 gallons an acre from speeds at 3 to 12 miles an hour. So one system, large rate range, and we can do that because we know the pressure and flow and speed of this pump to really adjust and increase the rate we support by orifice size. So again, we still utilize orifices in this system, but significantly increase the rate we can support because of the pressure and flow compensation we have with this newer diaphragm pump. Our fertilizer systems on 5000 series are all row by row controls. So new style flow switch that comes with it. Everything's section controlled with the row unit. So when the row shuts off, fertilizer shuts off. The flow switch is easily rebuildable. You can see the cap is pulled off there, and then you can see the wheel flow sensor in this picture. That wheel spins to let us know if there's fertilizer flowing or not flowing. Again, allows you to know if you got something plugged or half plugged or something of that nature. So easy to take apart, easy to clean, and really reliable, especially as you get to lower fertilizer rates as well. So something new, again, been a great performer in the field, helping it make it easy in the field when you're applying fertilizer as well. Couple unique features on the 5670 with the automatic tank leveling feature. So we have sensors built into the tanks on 5670 to know how full those tanks are. And if you're on side hills like this picture here, we automatically close and open valves to push fertilizer to the upper tank on the hill to, of course, keep that fertilizer level the same. And again, more evenly feed out. And of course, obviously prevent that tank from overfilling when that tank is on the lower side of the hill. So that's included in the 5670 package, standard equipment. So industry exclusive leveling, and we also level it as you're filling as well. So as long as you have the key on and Blue Vantage is powered up, we will auto level it as you fill the tanks as well. We touched on a little bit earlier, Darren, when we talked about tank level sensors. We actually introduced that in model year 26, a carryover again into model year 27. We utilize the same sensor that we use on 5670 to know the tank level. So in the Blue Vantage display, it will tell you obviously how many gallons are in the tank, how many acres you have left to plant as well based on your fertilizer tank level. And of course, we're utilizing that for the active weight transfer part to factor in fertilizer as well. So now on 5700, something that started this year, obviously carrying over to model year 27. That's standard as well. I guess I didn't talk about that earlier. It's not an option. When you get fertilizer, it comes with the tank, with the package. Dual product fertilizer, again, introduced on 5900, now on 5700s as well. It's the same style of system, right? We're taking our diaphragm pump and variable pump and all those type of things, mounting them on the rear of the planter to support a second product. So one product will be drawn from the tank on the planter. Second product will be drawn from somewhere else, whether it be saddle tanks on the tractor, or you're pulling a trailer, the fertilizer will be pulled from that application. So one product will be on board, the second product will be off board or somewhere else on a remote tank system. So same rate ranges, same row by row control. It's the exact same fertilizer system. It's just two of them. Again, all controlled and integrated into the Blue Vantage display. We added a couple fertilizer drop tube options last year. The in-furrow tube, which you can see behind the high-speed delivery tube we've had for a long time. We added last year the rear drop tube, so the fertilizer drop tubes that are mounted to the closing wheels. Just another option for fertilizer application that you can order directly from Kinze. So a dual tube configuration can be ordered as well. So again, just an additional application method that you order directly from Kinze, or you can pick and choose your own. All right, if you want your own application method or you're doing something different, we will of course plumb it to the row unit, and you can pick and choose how you apply it from there as well. Kind of a nice to have option that we added and can be added to any older 5000 series planter as well is really what we call the hand water wash station. Obviously, specifically handy if you're using fertilizer to clean filters and mesh screens and all those type of things. But heck, easy to use just every day as you're filling seed or you got graphite on your hands. A water wash tank just to, again, provide some water to wash your hands. No more complicated than that. It can be added, again, to previous generation planters. It's quickly to remove. It's approximately 2.5 gallons. Has a spigot on it, again, just to provide a factory solution to have some water on hand, again, to make it easier to clean up and specifically clean up filters for fertilizer applications as well. So, again, option you can add to any 5000 series planter. The hose retainer, again, for PTO pump or Power Beyond, this is something we added to planters in model year 26. Helps retain the hoses. It allows you to kind of customize what works best to keep your hoses out of harm's way based on tractor options, attachments, etc. You can see this is the drawbar solution here. This is a factory installed item. We also offer a retrofit package to older generation planters, so any 5000 series, and really go back to any 05 series planter, so 4905, you can add this hose kit as well, all right, because of course it's the same pump. So this is the drawbar style, the 2-point hitch style for, let's say, 5900 has a more vertical style hose retainer. You can see the two springs and the straps and all those type of things. This is what it would look like leaving the factory, and then allows you to customize, move those straps wherever you need it to be to help support those hoses. Again, a kit can be, or we offer this kit in parts as well for the 2-point hitch option to be added to older generation planters as well. So it's coming on this year's machines. Again, obviously will be offered as we get into 27. Factory installed, retrofit kits available through parts. So kind of a summary of 5000 series. Okay, so all 5000 series models now have a Power Beyond option to run the planter hydraulically versus the PTO pump. Get the hand water wash tank option, or again, add to older generation planters. Smart Box Ready solution for model year 27. So have insecticide Smart Box Ready there. New True Rate seed tube and sensor on the 5000 series models with True Rate. So again, new sensor, seed tube as well on the 5000 series. Okay, so that affects all models of 5000 series. We get to model specific, 5900, now available with Susi tracks. Changed so there's VF tires on all models now, all locations. Offer the option of solid or spoke gauge wheels. Okay. 5700, we introduced the 22-inch configuration. So new configuration, more gauge wheel options, narrows, solids. and the addition of dual product fertilizer, factory installed. 5670, now available again. Solid gauge wheels, 3-inch narrow gauge wheels, again, on request can be added to that model as well. So kind of broke down specific model configurations and some ads for those as well. Guys, as always, questions, be sure and type those into the chat. We can answer anything that we've covered so far on 5000 series, both row unit and model specific stuff as well. So feel free to add those in. We can always come back as we kind of move on to meters. True speed specifically. So we're making some changes to the true speed meter. All right, as we get into model year 27. It's kind of crazy to think true speed's been out for 5 years. We've learned some things, made some updates, but as a whole, the core of the meter really isn't changing a lot. So more ergonomics, and we'll talk about some compatibility of those as well. So we're still calling it true speed. All right, it's not changing names or anything of that nature. As we get into model year 27, it'll just be noted style B in the parts section. Okay, so no big terminology. It's still true speed meter when you think about high speed on a Kinze planter. Some things we improved. All right, again, just more running model year change items is improved the vacuum efficiency with more focused vacuum ports. We'll talk about that here in a second. We improved meter venting, just again, add more vents to the meter for better airflow, especially in high residue situations to prevent the meter from getting choked up. We improved the singulator a little bit, changed it. We'll touch on those changes as well. Improved meter resets. If you dealt with any reset issues in the field, we'll talk about how we address those. Minor changes on the delivery tube. Again, kind of go hand in hand with the items above from a meter reset part. We improve the meter cover and just ergonomics. Make it easy. Easier to take apart, put together. The crazy part is, again, currently today, the current true speed meter is very easy to work on. Easy to change crops, etc. But again, going through and getting a lot of acres on a lot of these, learned some things, and again, made some improvements to it. The first thing is really the vacuum efficiency related to the meter cover. And you'll notice style A, which is the current one we offer today, has one solid vacuum port, and then of course all the vacuums inside the seed disc. Style B, we actually changed and added more focused vacuum ports in 2 specific locations. The one at the very bottom of the meter is where the seed loads on the disc. So again, more focused vacuum there because we want, of course, it to get, or the seed to get obviously pulled to the disc and into the pockets. The one at the very top is where the singulator exists. So again, making that singulator aggressive, but having focused vacuum allows for, again, great singulation. So I just want to kind of show the difference between it. You can see it on the slide, but it's a little easier to show the physical pieces itself. So we have style A, okay, up here. And I'll put these both down on the table so they're easier to see. Yeah. Okay. So we have current, true speed, Rockstar meter here. And again, this is style B. We'll talk about ergonomics, but since we have both here, now we'll kind of talk about how do we open it differences. You'll notice it physically looks a little bit different. The biggest difference to open it is the fact that on this style, we have a lock tab down here that we press, rotate, and then the cover comes off. So I'll flip that cover over, style A. We look at style B, instead of having lock tabs and a rotation, we actually have 2 retainer spring clips right here. So we press those and open it, and it actually opens like a clamshell instead. And I'll rotate this guy around so we can talk about those ports. The reason we changed to a clamshell design versus a rotational design is when you get a lot of acres on the machine, just general operation and use, high speed, a lot of bouncing around. Over time, these retainer hooks that, of course, hold and lock that cover on just simply start to wear. When those clips start to wear, this cover sometimes will not stay locked on the meter and can basically unlock itself. Okay? So by going to this style of design, there's no rotational wear. We're locking it like a clamshell. All right, so we get rid of that wear characteristic. Again, we're talking tens of thousands of acres on this style of meter. So 5, 6, 700 row acres before we run into that on the style A. So style B, we got rid of that, more of a clamshell design. We talked about the vacuum porting. Okay? Again, style A, single port in, vacuum, of course, is all inside the housing. Style B, vacuum is still all in the housing, but again, our two focused vacuum ports. So down here, again, tight vacuum port. This is where we're loading the disc. So focused vacuum here. And then again, focused vacuum up top where our singulator is. Again, vacuum still in here, but it's focused in really the high areas where we need a lot of vacuum to help support loading of the disc and singulation of the disc. We're still utilizing the continuous vacuum seal in our meter, just like we are on style A. So again, still providing that long life and durability of the seal. Still the same motor, gear, etc. as well. Okay. Since we got off a screen share, I'm just going to talk through the singulator changes as well instead of flopping back and forth for you guys, and then we'll kind of review it again. Again, our singulator, no different from style A to style B in the fact that it is non-adjustable, so nothing has changed there. Some ergonomic changes on style B is the fact that when we take it out, we still push down and come out, but it's a lot easier. We basically made smoother hooks on the upper part of this, so again, it's just easier to put in and take out. Okay, so when I go to put it in, when I go back to corn, for example, I took it out for beans, now I can just push it back and it snaps in instead of going down and up like the older generation. Again, not a big transition, it just makes it easier for you to put it in and take it out. The other change, if I take this singulator out of style B, I take this guy out of style A. Talked about these. Okay. You'll notice if we put these two side by side that style B is a little longer. Okay. So really we took some of the meter housing and instead of leaving it on the meter, we put it into the singulator. All right. So we just made it a little longer. The only other change to this guy is this piece right here. Okay. So this is a little what we've called a seed scoop right here. It bolts to the bottom of, that lower crowder brush down here. Okay, it's a little seed scoop, simply held on with 2 screws. The seed scoop can help in certain seed sizes meter performance. Okay, the change or improvement of there, some of you, if you were to add it, let's say to an older one or transition to style B, you might not notice any difference in meter performance. It's very seed size, shape, speed, coatings, all that factors that come into seed performance. You might see a change, you might see no change. The biggest thing I will tell you though is that change you would see from adding the seed scoop is really a very low 0.2, 0.3% increase in singulation performance. Again, that's not across the board, it's just certain seed sizes. So certain sizes of flats, certain sizes of rounds. Okay, so again, minor change, ergonomics, add the scoop. It's a little longer to take place of some of the housing items in the meter as well. So small transition, little changes. Again, just from what we've learned in the field and ergonomic improvements, model year changes as we get into model year 27. So let me go back here. So we talked about the vacuum ports as well. We get into meter venting. Again, kind of self-explanatory, adding more holes, if you will, into the meter housing to provide more airflow. We talked about the singulator. It's a little harder to see that seed scoop. That's why I wanted to highlight it and talk about it specifically. But again, improved installation and removal, so it's easier. Slight improvement in overall performance on certain seed sizes. So just be aware, again, it's minor change. It's, a 99% plus accuracy meter already. Hard to get significant improvements out of that. But again, certain seed sizes, that little scoop can make a difference. So again, just a close-up view of what that seed scoop looks like. Again, specific to the Style B meter. One thing about the seed scoop is it can be added to Style A, so the original singulator, if you so choose. So something we can work through, talk with your dealer to see if that's something to add. Again, certain seed sizes is where you see the benefit.
We have a question regarding the singulator. Just to note, I do see the questions regarding the 5000 series, and we'll go back to those. But since we're on the topic of the singulator, can you use the new Style B singulator in the Style A meter?
So great question. Good segue in the third bullet point here. Style B singulator, not compatible with Style A. The big difference, though, is the seed scoop, like we talked about. You can order the seed scoop separately and put it on your current Style A and really have, in a sense, a Style B singulator without having to purchase the whole thing. And again, B doesn't fit into A because of the longer wings, but you can get the benefit of the scoop by simply adding the scoop, and that's available through parts. Yep. We talked about meter reset items a little bit, and some of you, if you have True Speed, might have run into it. Some of you that have True Speed might not have ever run into the use case where sometimes the meter gets stalled or stuck due to a seed jam or things that are inside the seed pool from the seed tender or any of those type of things. You'll notice really we just added more space at the bottom where that transition happens from the disc to the delivery tube. So more space, more area, less chance for things to get stuck at the bottom and cause the meter to physically stop and stall and then restart as a whole. So again, some ergonomic items into the actual housing itself. We also added a little bit of changes to the delivery tube and that transition point. So if you look at the top, delivery tube changes, again, Style A on the left, the Style B version on the right. We, again, added more space, widened the brush entrance and exit for the seed tube to help prevent a seed from getting stuck in there. We added a alignment fin to it, again, just for more integration and alignment from meter to delivery tube. And then, again, just added a clean out or dirt relief in there as well in the Style B solution. So, again, small changes that really help more on the meter reset part. Really not so much durability or performance. The delivery tube has been very, very good from a meter and performance standpoint. We talked about the latching changes. Again, instead of a rotational latch, it's more of a clamshell design. We kind of walked through that here a little bit. So again, easier to take apart. As we look at the differences, the seed discs and ejectors, exactly the same. So there's no difference there. You can use a Style B meter, so a later generation meter with an early generation delivery tube with no meter performance degradation. Okay, so there's, again, some compatibility there. Realize now, again, we've talked to some of you guys, and some of you guys might be on as we get into guys that have had enough acres on True Speed that their housings are starting to get loose and wore. You can update to the Style B housing if you so choose. The part number is on this slide. Of course, your dealer can certainly help with you with that as well. Basically, upgrade Style A to Style B. that part number includes the meter assembly, seal, singulator, cover, all those type of things, basically the plastic components, but all the electronics, so the gearbox, motor, etc. Honestly, the super high dollar control items are moved from your style A meter to the style B meter. Okay, so you have that capability if you want to transition to style B. We offer a kit through parts to do exactly that, right, to get you into style B. Yeah.
So before we continue, maybe we go back and answer some of these 5000 series
Yep,
questions.
for sure.
Our first question is, do you have a quick seed empty for bulk fill?
So yes, on our entrainer, and there's some videos on YouTube that talk about that. Our entrainer has a couple options or a couple features into it. The entrainer at the bottom has what we call a slide gate that comes with all the entrainers. Each entrainer has one. The slide gate allows you to, if the tank is full, something is in the bottom of the tank, and you need to clean it out. There's a slide gate that you can take off. It's mounted onto the bottom of the tank. Shove that into the entrainer, and it will basically block all the seed from the tank. You then can open the quick open doors on the bottom of the entrainer. You know, you get a handful or so of seed that comes out, clean out whatever's in there, shut that door, pull the slide gate out, and go back to planting. When you want to empty the tank, like you said, have, you know, maybe it's half full or whatever, there's 3 bags left. At the bottom of the entrainer, we include with, of course, every bulk fill planter, we call a clean out chute. It's basically a nylon chute that connects to the bottom of the entrainer. It diverts all the seed to one location. So, you know, depending on the model, you can slide a Pro Box underneath there, a 5-gallon bucket, whatever it might be. Open those doors, and all the seed physically comes out, is diverted to one location for easy clean out. And then, of course, everything in the tank is empty at that time. So kind of two scenarios there. Just wanted to kind of walk through each one so you kind of get a gist of what we offer, both to help if there's something in it and clean out both solutions as a whole. So, yep.
Our next question goes back to fertilizer. Jim asks, are dry fertilizer options available on 5000 models?
So Jim, right now, no. It's liquid fertilizer only. Something in the future years that might become an option, but as of right now and as we go into next year, there is not. It is purely liquid fertilizer at this time. Yep. Yep. All right, so we talked a lot about hardware, steel, iron, frames. Touch on a little bit about Blue Vantage display and some of the new features for this planting season, because we just released model year 26 features here not that long ago, and what's coming in model year 27. So again, our Kinze Blue Vantage system is all in-house electronics. So we have our own Kinze electronics team, again, focused on making the display super easy to use. There is a built-in training mode to help educate and refresh yourself or train yourself on new features, again, built into it. And again, probably the biggest item is there's no unlock codes or hidden fees for Blue Vantage. So take, for example, we talked about active weight transfer for fertilizer. Okay. If we add that feature to it, or you decide to put the sensors on or whatever it may be, when you upgrade software, you get that feature. Okay. So no hidden fees. The unlock code is free. Updates are free. All right. So no hidden fees with Blue Vantage. One of those nice features that was introduced not long time ago, but in 2024, a feature, again, you don't have to pay for, but the ability to have remote support. So the ability for the dealer, Kinze, the Sun, to log in to your display and see what you see. It requires a Blue Connect account, which is free. You set it up on Blue Vantage or through the Blue Connect link on Kinze.com. You just need a Wi-Fi source in the tractor cab. So if you need support, You can tag your Blue Vantage display to your hotspot on your phone. You get Wi-Fi, and you can have remote support on your display. There's no cost for any of those features, just requires Wi-Fi. Okay, so that's something we've had for several years now. Just again, highlight that you don't need a subscription service in order to get that to work. Another thing we added last year, and something again that was a big feature item, is what we call the replant feature. So this feature is the ability to plant over an area where there are no seeds or low seed. Okay, so for example, on the screenshot I have here, you can see the red streaks in the field. All right, so depending on direction, it could be, let's say it's row 2 and row 10. For some reason, we ran out of seed. Maybe we were getting low in the bulk fill tank and we were trying to get to the end and we ran out of seed. Of course, it's mapped in red on the map to say, hey, this is below your low seed alert threshold. The nice part about it being red is when you fix the issue or fill up with seed, you come back over and drive over those red areas. The system will automatically only turn on the rows that are red and replant those rows in red. So not the whole planter plants, just the rows that need to be turned on do that. It replants it at your set rate, and now you've filled in those low rate zones. So make it easy to fill in that oops spot, that mistake issue, or again, ran out of seed, forgot to turn bulk fill on, all those type of scenarios. Automatically does it, just set it down and drive over it. So a nice feature, again, that was added last year. It's in model year 26 software as well. Another feature for this year is the field scouting feature. So this allows you to take the tablet out of the cab, utilize the GPS in the tablet, walk out to the field, walk into your map, and go and walk to issues in the field. So in this picture, the blue dot is you, in a sense. All right, that's how it would show up on the screen. You could walk to, as you can see on this picture above the K, there's a yellow spot and a red streak in the field. You can walk to those spots and see what it is, get you a reference point so you can go do some field scouting. This is completely backwards compatible. Any generation of Blue Vantage tablet has it. Once you update software, you get that feature. So something that's added, again, for this coming spring. Something that we're working on for next planting season, model year 27, is an improved singulation map. Really what this allows us to do is quickly identify a skip or a double in the field on the singulation map. So the picture in the lower right where the red arrow is, it's pointing to, in this case, row 4. You can see the singulation is low, and you can see the little dots there indicating skips in the field. Now, this is a very early rendition of that map that we're working on for testing this spring. Be available next year in the software update, but allow you to easily know, is the issue for lower singulation skips or is it doubles? That way you can make meter changes, check something on the planner, all those type of things. So just enhancing the current skip map or singulation map to show skips and doubles quicker. So something we're working on for next planting season. Another feature we're working on is outer row guess row adjustment. So what this will allow you to do is adjust the outer rows on the planter to shut off differently than the rest of the planter. So it allows you guys to develop easily identifiable locations of planter passes. And I'll kind of pick on my dad as a whole, as we introduced GPS on the farm well over a decade ago and started using section control. He was always complaining as he's running the combine, where do I split the field, especially in point rows and or just regular square hen rows? How do I know where that pass is so I don't have to get out of the combine, count the rows, so I make sure and cut the field because nobody wants that row of shame at the end of the field. So this allows you, it's completely configurable. You can turn it on and off to adjust, basically making a gap in the field so you can easily know where to come back when you're side dressing, spraying, combining, as I just talked about later in the season. So adding the guest row feature. As you can see, I just kind of zoomed in on what a preview of that screen would look like. Again, the planting stop and start icons have not changed, so we're still adjusting that the same. But you can now see we added the guest row feature that you can turn on and off and adjust the gap to whatever you want. So again, make it easier to identify planter passes. So again, feature requests from you guys that we've introduced and are working on for model year 27.
So, not a question in this sense, but Mike does comment, "This is hilarious and awesome."
Mike, I appreciate the comment and the feedback for sure, for sure. So that's coming in again as we get into next year. If we look at some Blue Connect features, really cloud-to-cloud data sharing features, we've been integrated with John Deere Operations Center for the last few years, but it has been sending your log data to John Deere Operations Center. So you're basically connecting the Blue Connect data account to your John Deere Operations Center account. For this coming spring, okay, we will have the ability to pull grower, farm, and field information and products from John Deere Operations Center to your Blue Connect account. So, you purchase a new Blue Drive equipped planter. You don't want to worry about typing in all your grower, farm, field, and products. We can update that data from John Deere Operations Center automatically by just connecting those accounts, saving that headache, and again, worry about spelling them correctly and all those type of items, especially when it comes to products. Now the product names will be the same from your John Deere Operations Center to Blue Connect. As soon as you connect Wi-Fi to Blue Connect, it will automatically go out and look at your John Deere Operations Center account and pull anything new into Blue Connect. So getting this time of the spring, you can bring it into the office, update all those, sync your account, and have all that data pulled into Blue Vantage. As we get into model year 27, so next planting season, the goal is to have the ability to pull boundaries and prescriptions as well. It's merely waiting for John Deere to make that transition. So hopefully continue to add things to the Operations Center integration as well. Ag Leader Agfinity, all right, from a cloud connection standpoint, no changes for this year. We again can send log data to your Agfinity account. Currently, we are unable to get grower, farm, field, or products from Agfinity. It's an Agfinity item that they're working on to make that transition. We're just waiting for them to prioritize and make it available. So right now, this year, no changes. It'll simply be log data to the Agfinity account. Again, synced with your Blue Connect account. As we get into CNH Field Ops, and again, we CNH covering the New Holland side as well. We kind of got a mixed feature set here, okay? So for this spring, to get data, so planting data, hybrids, field information, that will have to be done via USB. So take a USB of data from Blue Vantage and import it through the desktop to your Field Ops. They have not added that feature from Blue Connect already, so it's nothing you're waiting on Kinze for. We're waiting on the CNH side to activate that portion. However, we are able to connect to the CNH Field Ops portion and get grower, farm, field, and products from your Field Ops account. So we get some information, kind of that beforehand information capable into Blue Vantage. We just are not able to send that data to them wirelessly real time as you're going through the field. Hopefully that comes in model year 27, along with pulling boundaries and prescriptions as well. Okay, so working through that with them. Again, just waiting for them to put some resources on it so we can finish it up. But we're ready whenever they are to make that transition. Climate Field View. Again, we've been able to utilize the Climate Field View hockey puck or the Bluetooth dongle for a long time. That kit and harnessing is available through Ag Express. That's who Climate utilizes for that portion or the cabling side of things. Right now, similar story. We're unable to pull grower, farm, and field. We're unable to tie directly to the cloud with them. They kind of rely on that iPad app and the Bluetooth dongle to do that. Again, kind of the same story, waiting for resources from them to push that along. All right, we're ready to make changes that they need. It's just a matter of them putting resources on it to add those features. So like every year, guys, we're always improving Blue Connect and cloud-based items, no different than anybody else in the industry, to make your data management that much easier. So good changes on some of those. Again, Operations Center and Field Ops, again, to make it easy and get your grower, farm, field, and data to move seamlessly between companies and FMIS providers as a whole. So kind of gets to the end of Blue Vantage changes as well. Again, just some highlights of what's good this year, what's coming next year. Just a reminder again, model year 26 software is out there. Again, can update it via Wi-Fi. If you connect the tablet to the Wi-Fi, it'll automatically go out and look for that new update. Or as always, you can still utilize a USB stick to, of course, update it via USB as well. I wanted to touch on classics just real quick. We always get the question as we do webinars and I get out to farm shows and all those type of things. Everybody's worried that we're going to stop making classic planters. So ground drive, finger meter, brush meter, standard hopper applications. And the answer is absolutely not. Classic planters aren't going anywhere. We still offer them. We haven't made a whole lot of changes to them since we introduced the 05 series almost 5 years ago now, or over 5 years ago now. But again, still a staple in our market lineup. They're not going anywhere. Still going to offer them, and again, various configurations like we always have. So just highlight that at the end. I realize we talk a lot about 5000 series and the high-tech units. Just highlight again, classic planters still going to be in the product lineup as a whole. The last thing to touch on, kind of as we're getting to the end, is I encourage you to visit with your dealer, and if you're interested to, again, get more hands-on, get in the field with one of these, and really feel what benefits they can provide to you, how does all of this work together as a whole, and come to an Experience Kinze event. So Experience Kinze is really a program we put on here where we work with your dealer, or even if you guys want to stop by, if you're on vacation, whatever, and we spend some time doing some classroom sessions, talking about features, enhancements, go on a factory tour. But by far the highlight of the Experience Kinze event is, number one, you get to interact with product specialists, design engineers that have physically designed Kinze product. Okay, they're the ones behind what you see and what we've developed over our over 60 years in business. And then more important than that, you get to operate the equipment in the field. And as you can see from the picture here, we're not afraid to take equipment to the field. We'll customize it and put what planter you're interested in order to give you an opportunity to really get in the seat, feel, fold, take things apart, ask questions, and really get a feel for what Kinze can offer for you as a planting solution. So interested in that, by all means, visit with your dealer. We do these all summer into the fall. We'll make whatever accommodations we need for you. If you're farther away, we can help with getting you here quicker. Again, so don't be bashful. Talk with your dealer, work with your district manager. We'd love to have you come out, see what Kinze has to offer, get you in the seat, and get you to touch and feel Kinze product. So keep that in mind as you guys are looking into new products. And again, we don't utilize Experience Kinze to say, hey, you have to buy this year. If you're looking 2 and 3 years down the road, by all means, please come visit with us. Love to chat, visit, see how we can help provide some solutions for your farming operation. So, Zach, we got questions to...
We do.
Okay.
And while we answer this one, guys, feel free to keep typing them in. But Jason asks, having trouble planning through waterways. It wants to increase down pressure so high, it's hard for the tractor to pull the planter.
Yep.
Any updates to hit a button on a monitor to reduce down pressure?
Yep. So a couple of things, Jason. Ideally, in an ideal world, the best way to fix that, this is just an example. I'm not telling you this is the end all, but by utilizing pre-made boundaries, that will help with that scenario just because, again, as you're coming through a waterway, if the planter shuts off, so if it stops planting, we stop adjusting downforce. All right. So it won't try and hammer those into the ground. All right. Because no different on a headland, when you set the planter down, we're not trying to adjust downforce because the meter isn't spinning, isn't on. So having pre-made boundaries helps with that. The other item, and it's, again, a little more button taps, and again, depending on your size of planter and how wide your waterways are, going into Blue Vantage, if you're going through the field, I'll get to the page before then Zach can chime in here and zoom in. So getting into the field, under the shutoffs tab, those are manual shutoffs. Okay. So if you're going through the waterway, right now it's set up in 4 sections. Okay. So I can tap and shut off that planter as I'm coming into the waterway. And then of course we turn it back on. I realize depending on your speed, it can make it difficult to hit 4 buttons up there. We can split this into 1 button or halves of the planter. Okay, so real quick, under settings.
Go ahead and end your share,
okay.
Brad.
Yep, my fault. That'd be easier anyway. Yep. Okay, so under settings, we scroll down a little bit. Here's your manual selection box. You can go to halves and only have 2 buttons, basically to shut off each half of the planter. Or if it's big enough, we can do a 1 section button. Go back to plant. Now, if I want to shut off the planter, it's 1 tap to shut it off. Now, I realize that might not be a solution depending on size of waterways, etc., but that's the best way I can tell you to allow it to shut it off. And then, of course, the hydraulic downforce stops adjusting because we're physically not planting. So kind of a run through of full gambit of options, but totally get what you're saying from pouring the coals to the downforce, and the tractor knows it for sure. So I'm with you.
Our next question is, can you go over again what Field View needs to do for better connectivity?
Sure. So log data wise, you would, in order to have the best experience to get your log data from Blue Vantage into your Climate Field View account, I would utilize the Bluetooth dongle and the harness kit. So AgExpress sells a harness kit. That's who Climate uses for their harness provider. It plugs into the dock of the Blue Vantage. Your Bluetooth dongle is mounted to the side, and you're good to go. You don't need to do any setup on Blue Vantage. You do all the setup on your iPad, and that log data directly goes into your Climate account. What I'm talking about different is, and what we're working on with them, is the ability to not use the Bluetooth dongle at all and connect really a cloud-based solution so we can connect Blue Connect to the Climate Field View account, so the desktop app, which is different than the Cab View app, in order to get data to go directly to that and also pull grower, farm, field, prescriptions, and boundaries. So that's the part that we're waiting on them to provide. Again, some solutions for us so we can provide that integration. So kind of two different steps, two different avenues there from a data standpoint. But log data wise, you can do that today by using that cab app and the Bluetooth dongle for BlueVantage. Yep. All right. Guys, with no other questions, appreciate you spending the time with us this morning to learn about, again, Kinze 5000 series, what's coming new in model year 27. If you're heading out to the farm shows, Louisville, Commodity Classic, by all means, stop by and visit us. Some of these items here will be at the farm show as a whole. Talk to some product guys there. Dive into, again, some true speed changes. We'll have tracks there, fertilizer, all those features, and help answer questions on any model of Kinze planter as well. So,
one last question just came in, actually.
All good.
Jason asks, does BlueVantage have a way to utilize an implement receiver for GPS?
Good question. Specifically related to implement guidance. Fellas, common question. From Kinze's BlueVantage side, we're totally separate from implement guidance. Okay, so we utilize different sensors on the planter to track location of it. So if you want to use implement guidance, that's perfectly fine. Can certainly mount it onto the planter. That's a totally separate system from us. We're obviously going to tie in BlueVantage into your existing GPS receiver that you already have for location, speed, etc. Again, we use position sensors on the planter to know where it is. Again, wing location, all those type of things. But guidance-wise, totally separate. We just need GPS from the tractor to provide planning functions. Realize a lot of guys are using implement guidance. All good. It's just totally separate from the BlueVantage side as a whole. So.
Question from Jason here. Using that receiver for GPS location for more accurate placement.
Yep.
More of a statement.
Yep, agree. But if you're using it for implement guidance, it's going to shift that implement over. The position sensors on the planter will reflect that as well. So, yep. But it is, again, a separate item just because it's purely tied into the guidance itself. So, yep. Good. All right. Guys, again, thanks a lot for spending the day with us. We hope you have a great spring as we get into the spring season, and look forward to seeing you either at an Experience Kinze event or again at our farm shows coming up. As always, you have any questions on Kinze product or you think of something after the webinar, feel free to reach out to us, send us an email. Be more than happy to visit with you again and answer any questions about Kinze product. So thanks again for your time. Enjoy the spring, and we'll see you next time.